What is up? I'm Steve. Hope you're doing fantastic. So I'm going to show you how to play 5 of the most iconic folk rock or folk pop songs from the 1960s in under 15 minutes. I'm going to try to stack up 5 of my world famous 3-minute lessons really quickly and show you how to do all of them. That right there was Mr. Tambourine Man by the Byrds, originally written by Bob Dylan. You might hear another Bob Dylan song later in this video. So I hope you like them. Let me know in the comments and give me more ideas for videos like this. And hit like and subscribe. And now I'm just gonna shut up and get right to the lesson. So coming in at number 5, this is Mr. Tambourine Man. We're gonna get right to this one. And it begins here in a D major with no capo. Now, I'm gonna show you how to play all the little notes, but let me do the chords first. It goes G major, A, D, G, and then D, G, D, G, So I'll show you some of those extra notes in a second, but when it goes into the big chorus, it's G, hey Mr. Tambourine Man, A major, D, G, G, A, like that. I'll come back to that in a second, but let's do some of the notes. Now, first of all, you need a 12-string Rickenbacker or 12-string acoustic guitar to make it really sound correct, because Roger McGuinn just plays it down here in this D area. It sounds, though, like he's doing this. So he really doesn't do that. He's down here, but because it's a 12-string, it just sort of sounds, more amazing. So he goes like this: open D string to the 2nd fret of the G string, back down to the open D, and then you go 4th of the G, 2nd of the G, open G string, that's the 4th of the D string, and then you hit the 2nd fret of the D string, and after that you go to the 3rd fret of the B string, like that, and open E, back to the 2nd fret of the D string, open D, back to the 2nd fret of the D string. So it sort of sounds more complicated than it is. Check this out. So if you have a 12-string, that's all you need to do. If you want to simulate the high notes, you go like this. So I'm going to show you this one really quickly because it's a bit more complicated for beginners, but you put your first finger all the way across the 7th fret of the G, B, and E strings, but you don't hit the E yet. You go like this. You sort of hit these 2 notes, the open D and that 7th fret of the G string, like that, and you go pinky on the 10th fret of the B string, back to the 7th fret of the G string, and now because you're laying this down, now you hit that E string on the 7th, keep that pinky on the 10th fret, right there, and then walk it down on that B string to the 8th, to the 7th right here, then you go to the 9th fret of the G, and you put your first finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and you hit the open A string, like this, so. And then 7th fret of the G, back to the 9th fret of the G, and then back right there, so. And there meaning open D and 7th fret of that G string. So that's really the key notes right there. One more time. G, hey Mr. Tambourine, A major, D, G, D, G, and then A. And that's pretty cool. You can hit an A major and just add the 3rd fret of the B string, and then the rest of the A major again. G, A, D, G. and does that over and over again. So great song, very beautiful, and a lot of fun to play. All right, and number 4, If I Had a Hammer by Peter, Paul, and Mary. It's in A major. You really start with a bar chord here, and I had never really heard their songs, or I knew of them, but I wasn't sure I liked them. And then I heard this song, I really paid attention to it, and I was like, it's super fun. So I don't know if it's like my favorite kind of music, but it's super fun to play. Check this out. Cool. That is really neat right there. So you start off with an A major, and it's just rapid pace chord progressions. The chords aren't that hard, but moving back and forth between them is pretty quick. So A major on the 5th fret right here, you know, a bar chord, F major shape, but on the 5th fret, which makes an A major. You could do it like this. The key is you want to hit that note on the 5th fret of the high E string. And then you want to go to a C sharp minor. C sharp minor to D major, E major, and it does it sort of rapid pace like this. If you get going really fast. And then it goes all over this land, D major, E major, and then she says something like, I'd hammer out justice, A major, I'd hammer out freedom, F sharp minor right there. And then what's really cool is this D, A, D, A, D, A, E, all over this land, then it starts over again. But the D to A is really fast, and it gets this decka, 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 like that. You can hear I'm going, I'm really hitting the second notes of that D, the second and third notes, more than the first. Let me do it fast pace. Ready? A, F sharp minor, and D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A, E major to A major like that. Really beautiful, fun song. All right, let's count down to number 3. This one is amazing. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And this one's gonna take a minute, but I'm gonna go through the major sections really fast. So I'm gonna teach you this one and see what we think. So it's D major shape, a capo on the 2nd fret, to C major, to G major, D major, A major, and I am sorry, G, I am yours, D, you are mine, A major, you are what you are, G, and you make it hard, D, G, make it D, G. One more time, and down, down, A, and I am G. You are mine, A, you are G. You make it hard, D, G, you make it hard, like that. So it does that a lot right there. And then there's a second part of the song. I'm not gonna be able to play every nuance because it's like a 10-minute song, but it goes, that little, half beat time where it goes. Now you can play a D major and either bend your finger down to the 5th fret of the E string, or add the pinky. I've got an answer, all that stuff. Sunday afternoon, G. And now what's cool is if you play an F chord, but you really don't hit the low notes and you leave the open E, it goes, what do you got? I'm basically playing F major right here. So it's the 5th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and then the open E string. Back to D major. One more time. I got an answer, Sunday G afternoon. what do you got to lose? And then he goes, I tell it, and then he goes, I tell it like it is, C major, and I'm sorry, you know, all that stuff, D. So those are, you know, that's that part. You have to just listen to the record, but it does that. And then it sort of just chills and does this crazy, you know, hang out on D where everybody's just going. And it sort of, you know, just does this crazy psychedelic, you know, chill thing for a few minutes. But then at some point it does this. Ready? Let's see. That, I got to remember it. Oops. You know that part? This is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing right here. I'll show you real quickly these notes. If you grab these fingers, sort of put your pick right here, but you put the 12th fret of the D string and 14th fret of the E string and go. Now you go down to the 11th fret of the D and the 12th fret of the E. And go do it again. Back up. And now you go to the 9th fret of the E and the 7th fret of the D. And then I just sort of just take that note and go down 2 frets to the 7th fret of the E and go. You know that little pop right there? So it goes. Super cool. G major, A minor, C, D. G, A minor, C, D. But when you get that amazing rhythm. All right, let's go to number 2. This is Rollin' Stone, Like a Rollin' Stone by Bob Dylan from 1965. It's in C major, so check this out. Very cool. This one starts off in C major like that, and the beginning is very amazing here, where you just sort of lift this finger up after hitting a C chord, and you got the rest of the C chord, leave them right there, but hit the D string and hammer on instantly to the 3rd fret of that D string, and then you hit the rest of those notes. So you're still in a C chord, you just lifted that finger and got it ready to hammer on. So check this out. This finger up, you know, a little bit like that. The rest of them stayed the same, and that goes from basically C to F. And then it goes, let me give you the chords of the whole thing. The D minor, E minor, F major, G. You know, and he's singing along. Good to you. All that stuff right there. G. So it does that twice, then it goes F major, G, F major, G. Now it does a walk down by using chords, F major, E minor, D minor, C. Does it again, F major, E minor, D minor, C. And then it goes D minor, F major, your last meal, G, and this big build up. How does it feel? C, F, G. How does it feel? C, F, G. To be on your own. C, F, G, like a rolling stone. Like that. That one, I'm going to stop right there because it just does the same thing over and over again. So everything I just told you right there, you can just keep repeating verse, chorus, verse, chorus. And that takes me to number 1. I'm gonna need the capo again for this one. California Dreamin' by the Mamas and Papas. So we begin here in A minor, right here. And the beginning has this really cool intro that goes. Something like this, you know? And the way you play that, real quickly, there's a couple different guitars, so it's hard to emulate the exact thing, but A minor, and you hit the D string on the 6th fret, G string on the 6th fret, and then open B string, back to the 6th fret of the G, and then go 7th fret of the B, 5th fret of the B string, open again, and then you sort of go, do the same things, and then put the first finger on the 5th fret of the E string, open E, to the 7th fret of the B, back to the E, you know, do something like that. Just keep walking it down from the 7th to the 5th of that B string. But then whatever you do, just end up on this chord. It's very cool, super, you know, memorable. You put your first finger on the 6th fret of the A string, and then whether it's 2 fingers or 1 finger, you cover up the 6th fret of the D and G strings. So all those right there, and then you hit the open E and the other open E and B, like this. Then it goes, all the leaves are brown, A minor, G major, F major, and the sky is gray, G major, E major 7th. This is one of the keys of the whole thing. E major 7th, which basically means here you have an open E string, 6th fret of the A string, open D string, 5th fret of the G, and then open B and E. That's really key to this song. F major, C major, back to that E7th for a walk, A minor, F major to E7th. So let me give you all that ready again. A minor, G, F, G, E7th, E7th, F, C, E7th, A minor, F, E7th. And it does it again, like when it goes, stopped into a church. A minor to G, and this is where you can do some palm muting to create some dynamics. It's everything we just did, but a bit more chill. E major 7th, F, and then you can sort of explode and go down, up, down on that C chord, C. One more time, I'll do the whole thing. A minor, G, F, G, E7, F, C, E7, A minor, F, E7. Right there, and that was an A7th. It's basically an A minor with that open G right there. And then if you have a flute, play the flute solo, you know, put it on some sort of stand while you're strumming, and that would be really impressive. If you do that, put it on YouTube and drop a link in the comments. Let me know what you think. Give me some more ideas for more videos like this. Hit like and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next time for another stack up of world famous 3-minute lessons. See ya.